Hello, I'm Sonia Dombrowski and welcome to the Natural Dog Training Academy.
Hello, I'm Lorna and welcome to our channel. Today we are going to chat informally about dogs' body language. We think you might find it quite interesting to understand a little bit about how dogs communicate with dogs and how dogs communicate with their owners or with humans.
Yeah, as dogs are dogs, and as humans, what we tend to do, don't we, is we humanize the dogs. So because of that, you can cause a lot of issues by humanizing them. But dogs don't see you as human and them as dogs. They see you as them, as the same as them, don't they, Lorna?
Yeah. I kind of always think that, dogs think like dogs. That's all they can understand, pack behavior, really. So when they look at their owners, they expect us to treat them the way they instinctively would get treated in a pack. So that would include, of course, all body language and all sorts of behavior. So it's not as if they perhaps think that their owners are dogs as such, but they can only look at us through a dog's eyes. So hopefully that makes sense. So if you use and understand the behaviors that dogs use when they're communicating with each other, then the dog will understand your behavior a lot better.
Exactly. So it's like when you're walking along, especially if you've got like a cute dog, like a cockapoo or a poodle, and a stranger comes along and they want to stroke your dog, and they like this. Now the thing is, dogs don't do that to dogs. And how would you like it if a human was to come, a stranger come along and go, oh, on top of your head, you'd be like, oh, what are you doing? So to actually do that and stroke a dog like that isn't great. I mean, dogs do put up with a lot from us, don't they, Lorna? With the fuss that humans
Yeah, well,
like to give.
some probably like it better than others. But on the subject of cute dogs, Sonia, I think bulldogs are cute. I think all dogs actually are cute. You're going to have people saying, "Oh, wait a minute, my boxer's very cute," or what have you. So all dogs in their own way are cute. But yeah, I take your point. I kind of think it's a bit like, some dogs don't want that immediate contact, especially the more nervous ones. They don't, as you say, they don't like all that fussing. It would be like us walking along the street and then suddenly a random stranger comes along and just grabs us and gives us a great big hug. It's like, I need my space. I need my space. Well, dogs are the same. They need their space, especially certain dogs. So nobody really should just assume that a dog wants to be, as you say, Sonia, fussed all the time on the head. I think you need to approach a strange dog when you don't know, little bit more cautiously.
Yeah, and to always ask, are they okay? Can I give them, a fuss? But again, not to go over really, because that's quite intimidating, isn't it, for a dog? That's why a lot of dogs will move away. And, a lot of people think, oh, if they're like that, they're hand shy. So maybe something's happened, bad happened. But no, not necessarily, because it is intimidating. I mean, a dog, like with other dogs, sort of like if they're smelling each other, the reason why they go round to smell at the backside is because of personality, isn't it? They get to know instantly what personality that dog has. Whereas with humans, it can take months for us to get to know each other. But with dogs, it's very different, or even sighting a dog across the road, that smell. So dogs are very clever in all of that and the way that they communicate.
Yeah, I mean, this to a dog is far more important than these.
And the ears.
because they use, this is so powerful, and these, of course, are very powerful.
Mhm.
But so, a dog will sniff another dog, and they have a certain format that they use all the time, where most cases they sniff the nose first, and then they would go round and sniff the dog's rear end. And then they use that scent that they've clocked, and then when they walk along, they can smell where that dog's gone. They can actually always follow another dog just through scenting, meeting it, scenting it, and then following its scent along the path or wherever. It's absolutely incredible. But what I was really going to say was, if you're meeting someone outside with a dog that you've not met the dog before, absolutely the best thing to do, because you don't know the temperament of that dog, you don't know the personality, is really just to let your hand drop by its side. And if that dog wants to come up and sniff you, then that's absolutely fine. But as Sonia says, you don't want to be sticking your hand out to a dog, because it can give them quite a fright and quite a start. So just let your hand and let the dog make the first approach. It's the best way, to be honest. And then the dog gets your scent, and
Yeah.
you're quite calm.
Yeah. One of the most common body languages between dogs is ignoring, isn't it?
Mm.
To just, if you want to speak to the owner, speak to the owner. Just ignore the dog. Look at the dog, like Lorna says, put your hand down, and let them make the choice if they want to come over. That's quite important, because just remember how you would feel if you stood talking with someone and all of a sudden they're putting their hand out to you. So put yourself in your dog's shoes. That's quite important. But let's have a discussion then, Lorna, about dogs meeting dogs, the duties. So, as we said, when they meet, noses, and then they instantly go round. Now, there is a lot of dogs out there that we've met a lot, haven't we, Lorna, where they don't like it when another dog comes round behind, even though it's a normal behavior for dogs. But that can be many reasons, can't if they're in season, or they've had an operation, and they're feeling a bit vulnerable.
Or sometimes what can happen is that when the second dog sniffs round the rear end, maybe in the past, a dog's then gone to try and jump on that dog. So the perhaps slightly more anxious dog, remembers it, and then it doesn't want any dog to be going down round by its rear end. So you're right, Sonia, there's lots and lots of different reasons. But the most important thing is you, the owner, recognising it. So you have to actually understand what your dog likes and what your dog doesn't like. And I know from lots of my clients, and I think you'll know this is the same for you, Sonia. If I'm working with someone who has a dog that's perhaps a little bit more wary of other dogs, especially in the early stages, and it doesn't want to meet and greet every dog, just as we don't want to meet and greet every person. The trouble is, you can be out in the park and you can say to people, oh, it'd be better if you just gave my dog a little bit of space. But do people listen? Some do, but there's an awful lot of people who just completely ignore that and say, oh, but dogs love me, and stick their hand out in front of the dog. And I hear that all the time. And it's the same with family members. They don't listen to what the owner's saying. And I don't know quite what the answer is to that. But, you owners should know your own dogs. So if you say to someone, if you know your dog doesn't like strangers initially, greeting them, it doesn't make your dog a bad dog by any means. It just means they're just a little bit more cautious. Just like some of us don't want strangers coming up to us. We all like a little bit of space. There's nothing wrong with that. But I do think, especially out walking with your dog, people perhaps have to pay attention and to what the owners say, and not be invading space if the owners say, look, my dog's a wee bit shy or a wee bit nervous. Would you agree with that, Sonia? Because I
Oh,
find
yeah.
that a lot.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, there's always a reason why a dog does something. It's
Mhm.
body language, or it's barking, or it's growling. So there's always that reason. And it's like dogs meeting dogs on leads. I mean, off
Yeah.
the lead, dogs feel freer. So if they want to, they can get away or
Hmm.
interact. But on the lead, they're trapped.
Hmm. Hmm.
What do owners do a lot of the time, especially if they're unsure? They pull at the lead, and then
Yes.
what happens?
Hmm. And then they pass their anxiety down that lead to the dog. So where possible, try and keep your lead, you know, not necessarily loose, but just keep the tension off it. So your dog doesn't feel your anxiety because, boy, dogs are very, very good at picking up on the energy that we're putting out. And that's both in the house and outside. So
Yeah,
a relaxed lead will always make for a happier walk.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's also, if your dog meets another dog, to look out for the body language,
Hmm.
that keep that lead loose. If that person says, "Oh, my dog's fine," there's always a first time for everything. Just to give you an example of this, I was working with a little puppy, met quite a big dog, and she said, "Oh, my dog's fine." And as soon as they met, it was sort of like 2, 3 seconds in, and I thought, this dog
Hmm.
is fine. Something, and I said, "Come on, this way."
Hmm.
Got the owner to pull and it was at that point where the dog lunged, but
Yeah.
they didn't catch the puppy. So it's
Hmm.
watching the body language
Yeah.
of the other dog. If you know your dog's fine, watch the body language of the other dog, because there's quite a lot of things like hackles up or tail directly up. So there's quite a few signs, isn't there, Laura?
Yeah. Or
So
ears. Ears
yeah,
are a big indicator, aren't they? Or
yeah,
even just a stiffening, a slight
yeah,
stiffening of the dog's body. If all these things happen, or one of them happens, something is going to kick off. So I think that's a really, really good point that you're putting out there, Sonia, because an awful lot of owners say to us that what they can't really cope with is the unpredictability of other dogs. They don't know. It's not quite so much their own dog, although sometimes it can be their own dog. But if it's other dogs and they don't know whether to let them sniff because of that. So, you don't have to be an expert. Just you intuitively will know. If the other dog's, and watch its tail and things like that. And then don't drag your dog away. Just encourage it, as you say, just a nice sort of encouraging, come on, this way sort of thing. And just, in other words, anticipate a
yeah,
behavior and just don't wait for it to happen. Sometimes they will sniff, but if there's a change in the other dog's body language, then generally they're not very happy. And I think we can usually read that, can't we?
yeah, definitely. And the important thing not to do, especially if you've got a small dog, don't pick your dog up.
Oh,
Because
I know.
that's the worst you can do. And I know it's instinctive because
Mhm.
you want to save your dog, you think there's a problem. But height is assertiveness in the dog world,
Mhm.
and that dog on the ground is going to jump and try
Yeah,
to get to your dog. So the best thing to do is look for the sign and go before
yeah,
anything does happen.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. So we hope that those tips help you. It's not about you needing to become an expert. It's just about using your own intuition a little bit with your own dog and understanding your own dog and understanding how dogs communicate when they meet outside. So hopefully it's been a bit helpful, and you can be walking your dogs with more confidence in the future.
Yeah, definitely. Have a look at our website. We do have a couple of courses available now, walking and recall, all without the need for treats. And there's more courses coming soon. And thank
Hmm.
you so much for watching. Bye for now.
Thank you. Bye.